That is, who is that? Cry to Me. It's these girls are very. It's that Solomon Burke, Cry to Me, from the Man from U.N.C.L.E. soundtrack, which was another. It's a soundtrack. See, like soundtracks, they gather good music, or they make their own. So what am I reviewing? I'm reviewing a stack of Gustards, the X16 DAC and H16 amp, and this is from APOS, and you can buy them in an ensemble for $900 or individually for $900. So okay, the amplifier. Powerful, 3.6 watts per channel. The DAC, highly praised and measured. ASR, I think, put it like top, the second best sounding, measuring DAC. There's a big difference between that. I think I'm dying in this basement, by the way. So they're hooked up with a set of fan music XLRs that APOS sells with this. That's why the price is higher, because they include a $70 set of XLRs and wipe the price of the XLRs if you buy them in an ensemble. Couple, no real like super duper negatives, honestly, coming off the bat. I'm just like, all right, good, interesting. How do I start this? Oh, you'll see the Geshelli Labs Erish and a topping L30, right? You're the L, yes, okay. I get confused sometimes, I'm old. So Erish and L30 are sitting here because if you're going to test a DAC amp stack, you really can't tell if the DAC's doing its job if you're listening through an amp you've never heard before. But I know those amps and love those amps. So I have, well, actually I'm doing a thing. I'm testing the preamp out of this because that's one of the things that people hear. Let's, can I stand this up without killing everyone on the earth? Yeah, I can. Power plugs on both sides, switches for 110 or 250 volt. We've got, this is the output stage of the amplifier. There's red caps on the RCAs. Here's the input. Here are those fan music wires. The RCAs are, they're RCAs. They're a good length, and that's all I'm going to say about the RCAs. I've got the world's best XLRs here going to the Erish, and the world's best RCAs here going directly from the DAC out to the L30. And then I've got an AES cable, which is a very special XLR cable, by the way, going into the DAC. And you can see all the other inputs for the DAC. We've got optical, we got I2S, we've got coaxial still covered with the red plug, and USB, and a whomping big Bluetooth antenna, like bigger than you usually get on these units. Move my mouse. So yeah, that's the back of the, oh, by the way, look at these feet. Look at they're like knurled aluminum, and you're never gonna see them. Unless you put a glass shelf above your desk and have your equipment on there and then light it from the bottom, you're never going to see that, but they're there, and that's kind of nice. So let's flip this back around. Ugh. So now that you know, what if something's stuck to this? There we go. So I'm feeding this amplifier balanced through the fan music XLRs into this from the DAC. I'm feeding the L30 from the DAC directly out into a very linear a single-ended amplifier, because it's single-ended for RCA, so you might as well. And then I'm actually passing the signal through the H16 amp, through the XLRs again, into the Erish to use it as a preamp, because a lot of people in my $10 patronage chat are starting to, all right, ready for the theory? This is not to do with this is just like an overall thing. People are figuring out that the volume control, the volume pots, the actual pot that you control the volume on all your amps, some of them are shit. So the amplifier itself is great. What amplifier did that the most? There was an amplifier that was like the worst at this. People were saying the 789 did it bad. And what you would do is you would peg the 789, not in that way, that Urban Dictionary, no. But you would just turn the 789 up all the way, or turn an A90 up all the way, or turn a fucking Rebel amp up all the way to basically eliminate what the potentiometer is doing. And then you would use a preamp, or you'd use a preamp to control your amp. So you put it between your DAC and your amp. Or, and this is also something that they were saying is, you know, DACs that have volume controls, which this does, yeah, those could have bad fucking things. So people are like trying to tell me that I need to buy a $500 piece of equipment because some are really expensive preamps like to just sit in the middle between amps and DACs that are just volume knobs. I have that Clicky Click One that I paid like 180 bucks for. They said like, if you got a really good one, it could then more linearly control the volume from your source, which is pegged, to your amp, which is pegged. So essentially you just be putting the job of volume control to another unit. Now, I was like, okay, but now I've got the Gustard Labs Erish pegged on low gain, but still pot up all the way, and I'm feeding out of this, which is getting fed from the DAC, and I'm using this, so if I hit play again, you can notice nothing's plugged in. We've got that song playing here. By the way, 58X, because you know what? Fuck you, 58X Jubilee are great. So now this volume control here is just, that's maxed out, this is acting as my preamp. This is just taking it in. It's got clean ass circuitry. It's sending it out. It's doing its volume control through the clickety click click click. That doesn't have a clicky click 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 volume control. So this volume control here should be better than if I use that. Sometimes what the argument is that you literally, when you start lowering the volume on a wonky pot, sometimes the channel imbalance gets weird. Sometimes if it's just a cheap pot, which let's face it, Gustard Labs is not spending $5,000 on the pot. It's good enough. But no, this is a $400 dedicated unit that has the pre-outs. So the argument is you get something else to control your amp that you're using. And for that testing purpose, I'm using this. And of course, that song fades out. And you know what? I don't want to just say, oh yes, everyone needs that. But there might be something to this, more so than like the difference between a $4,000 DAC and a $1,000 DAC and a $200 DAC, is that maybe the volume controls in all your amps are shit. It basically turns like a Shelly into a power amp. Now this, I have running through this, so it'll be different. And also, before I get pulled for, is that the Untouchables? No, what is that? Fear Over the City. It's Ennio Morricone. Ennio Morricone. Let's plug you. I don't know if I want to call them the Hemp Ultras or the Hemp 420 YOLO Swags. Probably the Hemp YOLOs would be what I would call these. And I'm in contact, or I try to get in contact with a company that makes replacement Grado parts. So I might be able to reassemble my Grado Hemps back into a normal looking Grado product. But for now, the yellow swags. Let's plug those in. So those are plugged into the L30. Now keep in mind, I'm not reviewing those. I know those. I'm only touching those because I know them. Let's put these on, and I know these. Oh God, I know these. So now we unpause this. And I'm using the quote-unquote shitty volume knob of the L30. But now I'm assessing the DAC. This is directly assessing the DAC. Linear as fuck amplifier. Headphones I know. DAC sounds good. Just, okay. Just, that's... It qualifies for its cost. Great. Do it. Got plenty of inputs. It's got a remote control. You can control the volume, although... If you're using this for like speakers or anything, I will complain that the screen that shows you everything is mini squirrel. Like you can see it says AES in, maybe you can see that it says PCM, and the volume is that little type, like 2-point font at the bottom. Can you even see it changing? -24, -16. Can you? Because I can barely see it and I'm staring. Oh God, these are very fucking heavy, by the way. This is like... They feel like $2,000, but you get it for $900. So that's a thing. I wish that would help the 1/4-inch plug. We'll have to get to that where the 1/4-inch plug literally yanks the unit off. But yeah, so I would just complain that, okay, yeah, it has volume control, but you can't see it. Like that volume control you can see, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're sitting at your desk, I'm glad it's that size. Yes, I want to be able to see it's at 69. I always listen to my music at 69%. But odds are you're only adjusting this from the touch because you literally have to. With that, you might have remote control and be... Hold on, how far back do I have to get before I can't read it? I mean, I have pretty damn good vision. Let's see if I could read that. I could still... I mean... Yeah, about another 1.5 feet back, and that's just going to become blurry lines. So I would have preferred a larger display. Also, the displays don't match in their like color. Like that's a very dark blue, and this is I have it up the brightness all the way, but it's still a whiter color. So people who are OCD are gonna be like, oh my God, the metals don't look like the finishes matches, and then the colors, but relax, relax. Just do it when you wanna get to it. Relax, relax when you wanna come. Did I just turn into Frankie Goes to Hollywood? I did. Frankie Goes to Hollywood did you all. That's the new Rickroll. And you know what? It's fucking better. All right. So I sat here. I assessed the DAC. The DAC's fine. I tried the thing with the pass-through on the thing. And there might be something to that. More than anything else, there might fucking be something to it. Because even like DACs themselves with volume controls like the D70S or D90, they're digital, but are they linear enough? Like, oh my God, please get me the fuck out of this audiophile game. It hurts my head. Let's actually listen to it. Now, I could plug it in with this 4-pin XLR, but I realized something before this review, right before this review. I could plug it in with this, because I've never plugged anything in with this. Because the front of this unit has 4 outputs: a 1/4 inch, which is standard, a 4-pin XLR, which is standard, a 4.4 Pentacon, which you can see here, which by the way, Preamp cable, fine. This is a Yukumu adapter. Just want to point out that I got this on Amazon. That's a 4-pin XLR to 4.4. Look at the girth on that. All right, I usually complain about thick wires, but that's hilarious and cloth and amazing. This has a red plug, which is balanced 3.5 millimeter. So I thought IFI gave up on this, and I think they did. I haven't seen a balanced IFI thing with 3.5 millimeter. But then I got this unit. Remember this from the this is the Shanling M8, the big DAC, and it had that fucking plug. It had like a 3.5 millimeter red. It called it 3.5 millimeter Pro. And I'm like, who the fuck's going to use that? Because there's a normal 3.5 millimeter that's not balanced, and that's a balanced 3.5 millimeter. And it actually has a it extends deeper than that. You can see there's a little bit of a cup that has to go down past where a normal 3.5 millimeter would, so you can't accidentally fuck it up. So yeah, the Shanling had it. I'm like, what the fuck? No one has that. And now the Gustard has it. So I'm going to use, and this is a Heart audio cable. And when you got the like connector kit, it came with all the connectors that are commonly used, and this one. And I'm like, look, don't bother putting this in your kit. No one has this. But now Gustard has it and Shanling has it. So I don't know if 4.4 is just going to go away, or if it's gonna, this is like Blu-ray versus HD DVD, VHS versus Beta, 4.4 Pentacon versus 3.5 millimeter Pro. So I'm going to plug this in. What are we at? 69. I'm going to lower that down. And that's the first time I plugged that in, by the way. So let's see if it makes Sundaras just function. That's all I want is functionality. The answer is no. I thought it would work. It does not work. Right channel doesn't work. So it could be... Why, though? The only thing I could think of, let me lower this, is that either Heart Audio doesn't have the pinouts the same as Gustard, because maybe it's not even fucking standardized. Damn it, I wanted that to work. Because it's no other fucking point. Wiggle. Wiggle. All right. We're going to abandon this fucking thing. Put the fucking thing. Where'd I put the other one? Boring 4 fucking pin XLR. At least it works, though. So yeah, I don't... Who's asking for this? I'm not. Look, the fucking connector is the same size as a fucking Pentacon. They're basically the same depth, too. Look, if you line them up, you get like... You save like fucking maybe 1/8 of an inch. Wait, line them up properly. Because that's still... I don't get it. It's just because everyone hates Sony. Oh, this amplifier. We got to talk about the amplifier. So... I've been stating for a while now, amplifiers lean in two ways. You're either leaning towards linear or you're leaning towards fun. Singzer SA1, also an APOS, might be back in stock. definitely leans to the fun side. Holy fuck, the fun. Oh my God, orgasming fun. Liquid Gold X, fun. A90, linear. 789, linear. A50S, linear. What's another fun one? Death on Ray Honey, which is a DAC amp combo, so you really, but fun. This definitely leaning linear. Just leaning linear. Just leaning linear. They're not going for like a class A warmth. They're just giving you sound. And the thing that they talk about a lot, which by the way, before I forget, the X16 uses Saber DACs, which people who are in the audiophile community, and I don't really want to be in part of that community, please kick me out. Please, God Almighty, I'm only there because I work there. It's like being the janitor at a gay strip club, and you're like, look, man, I just mop the floors. All right, just count me out. But this uses Saber DACs, and people are like, oh, Saber DACs. Might as well use Texas Instrument at that point. But AKM burned to the ground, so everyone's going to start switching to Saber DACs. So there's probably going to be a whole revolt. I don't notice really a negative from them using Saber DACs. I just wanted to get that in there and use the gay porn house analogy with the janitor. Power. So I didn't think this was a very powerful amplifier for the first 2 days I was using it, because it's got no high-low gain switch. There's nothing hidden on the bottom of it. There's this big screw there. So the menu is non-existent. Literally the button here, there's a button in the middle of volume control. RCA input, XLR input. That's it. Those are your options. This, you hit the button, you switch the optical, you switch through the inputs. I'm gonna go back to AS. You hold it for a second. Oh, God damn it. Hold it for a second. Are you going to turn off it? No, there we go. And you get, I don't know, I'm going to take the camera off my head, because there's no way you're going to be able to see that. It's so fucking small. It's small. It's so small. It's just minuscule. Oh my God. It's also flashing in the video, and it shouldn't be. Can I zoom this while I'm recording? I don't think I can. All right, we'll back it up. So here's your options. PCM filter, NOS mode, which is on. So PCM filter is DAC filters. Then NOS mode, which means no oversampling mode, is on. I set that to on. And then you have Bluetooth power either on all the time or only when it's selected. Then you have phase invert disabled, brightness on display on always, and brightness is level 7. Here we go. Change the brightness. Oh my God. Is it loop? It goes to 8. Oh, now we've fixed it all. Hold that button down again. Okay, that's it. There's your menu. I gave you the tour of that DAC. And back to what I was saying, there's no high-low gain on this. Now that sounds suicidal for an amplifier that can put out 3.6 watts. Wait, I will get the specific number. 3.7 watts at 64 ohms. 2.286 watts at 150 ohms. 1.1 watts at 300 ohms, and over half a watt at 600 ohms. Over half a fucking watt at 600. This is a powerhouse. So why doesn't it have a high-low gain? What are you trying to do? Well, what they did is, since the volume control is digital and a relay stack, this is definitely not the headphone to test this on. I don't want to blow my Sundaras up, but it's okay. We're getting up there. Sublime is playing. It's great. 25-30, 35-40, 45-50. Okay, we're getting like 55-60. That's about my listening level. 65-70. 70's loud. So 70's loud, but not like where's 4 watts per channel loud. I'll tell you where it is. And I don't know what headphone to test this with, because I love my headphones, all of them, including the KPH30Is, and I don't want them to explode. But I did for a split second use, I forget which headphone it was yesterday. And when you crest 80, it is an exponential gain jump. It goes like 79 is loud, 80, and then 81 is twice as loud as 80. And 82 is 40% louder than 81. And 83 is fucking 31% loud. It just goes whoop. So if you're looking for high gain on this, just keep turning the knob. Which, I don't think I'm against that. I just always want to be able to max out my volume knob and not blow shit up. Like I want some sort of limiter. And I guess if you got this stack, you could accomplish that by lowering the volume here. Well, here, actually, we want to do a test? You ready? We'll do a test. I said 70 was like my maximum listening volume on, let's go back to Sublime, because that's where we tested on just now. I don't cry when my dog runs away. I'm going to lower this down 50 decibels. Lowering, it needs the jog shuttle hole that I could, and it only has these ridges. And when it's on the table, up here it's not bad, down here it's less acceptable. Let's go down 60 decibels, and let's max this fucking thing out. All right, now I'm going to take it back to what I think is maximum volume for listening. 15 decibels, 16 decibels. So the last 20, the last 30 of that is 16 decibels louder. So be real careful when you go, whoop, because 16 decibels is a fucking lot. 50, 60, 70, 80, 80. All right, we're going to damage something at 80. 80 is like suicide. 80 is suicide. So yeah, it's just, it's one way to do it. It's one way to do it. I prefer a very linear volume control where 30% is half as loud perceptually as 60%, which is half as loud as whatever 120 would be. So 90 would be like 50% more. I prefer that other than the ramp, but it's got the ramp. So I don't know what else to say about the unit. Oh, I do know what else to say about the unit. Hold on, there we go. Plug in the cleared. I think I sold these out like the first moment they arrived. Someone was like, hey, these are in stock. Gone. I would say the single-ended performance might... Give it to me! Yeah, be real careful unplugging that. This is not a light unit. This fucking thing weighs 4 pounds, and it's on nice rubber feet. And the 1/4-inch jack just doesn't let go. Every time, and it's annoying because every time I just go to gently unplug something, like it happens on like other amps. If I plug into the A90 and I pull it, it sort of slides, but I can give it like a little bit of like there, it'll come out, I don't know what brand of 1/4-inch jack they got, but it never comes out. It like just borrows a park a 1/4-inch adapter in there and be done with it. You've got to like grab it and like fuck it out, not pull it out, fuck it out. So just everything else is fine. The 3.5mm balance is fine. The 4x4 is fine. The regular balance is fine. The 1/4-inch is like let go. I'll put these back in for a second. It sounds like a $900 stack. It sounds like a $900 stack. The only thing I didn't do was swap out the DAC and power the amp with something else, because I have a belief that most DACs, I'm just going to say most DACs from now on so people feel inclusiveness. Most DACs sound the same. So it's like, as long as you're doing your job, you're fucking fine. So if you want just this amplifier, which is a very linear, it's as powerful as the A90, it might be roughly the power output of the A. No, wait, that's like 6 watts a channel. I could look that up on APOS. I'm not gonna do that right now. It's a solid $100 cheaper than the A90. I don't know which one I'd prefer. I probably still think A90's king of linear, but this is its backup singer and it's $100 less. So plus I think it's got I don't know if I hate this form factor or like it a lot, because it's like shorter. It's shorter this way, narrower and taller. So it's a much more girthy stack. If you like a girthy stack, Gustard's the way to go. Everything else is weak sauce compared to that. I love KPH30Is. What didn't I use here? I used everything, and I used everything everywhere. We're good. So I think have I educated anyone today? Have we learned anything about these units? Do I give them the nod? I give them the nod. I give the DAC the nod on its own. It's $500. If you want all the features it has, other than the really fucking minuscule screen, if you want to trust in it for the measurements, this could be the last DAC you ever buy. That's my thing. My spiel now is like, how good is this DAC? It could be the last DAC you ever buy. Just like a lot of DACs that I'm going to review. I can't believe I have so many. Now that I've had that realization, I did like the D50, I did the D70S, so many DACs, so many expensive DACs. I'm just like, yep, last DAC you'll ever need to buy. But the amplifier is where we actually have to concern ourselves. The volume knob is the only like kind of just a note. It's like, all right, it's a footnote. We don't go past, you know, what was the name of the street from WandaVision? By the way, WandaVision. If you're not watching WandaVision on Disney Plus, well, that's fine. You don't have to pay for Disney Plus. Disney ruined Star Wars. But watch WandaVision anyway. Because I was not going to be like, oh, it looks stupid. It is some of the most tense fucking shit. Like, my heart hurts watching it because it's like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. It's the Marvel writers, man, they just don't. Please move the Marvel writers to Star Wars. Just pick them up, Disney. They're in the one office over. To drop them there because it's so fucking good. Yeah, I'm done with this. I want to thank my guest appearances by the L30 and the Erish. Erish, I love you, baby. You're a good, solid, balanced. That is a what the fuck is it called? The type of power that it uses is like the that other company. Oh fuck, forget it. Forget I brought it up because I'm just gonna. People go, wait, what's he talking about? Wait, what's he talking about? What? Yes. I give this a yes. I give it that wallpaper. We got 2 for 1. We got 2 for 1. What am I gonna say? I recommend the amp more than the DAC. I recommend the DAC more than the amp. If you're gonna get the stack, get it. It looks beautiful. It's got knurled feet that you'll never beat the knurled feet. And I think I'm done here. Right? Did I miss anything? I always feel like I'm forgetting to say that thing. There's that one thing. Other than that doesn't use the I2S because the Pi hat didn't work. I got that already. All right, yeah, we're good. We're good. All right, I'm done. Links to these at APOS. Links to all the headphones I've got going here. Links to those 2 amps, wherever the hell they're sold. I don't know if APOS sells the L30. They might. They sell topping stuff. Wallpaper in the description. I finally figured out how to pin a post on Patreon. I didn't realize it's probably been there for a year. So if you do join my Patreon and Subscribe Star, both have pinned posts. You can find links to the $10 chat, the wallpaper archive, with the ability to look up these wallpapers from all the original artists using IQDB or Sauce Now. You get to see these reviews early for $5 a month on either platform. You get to see these reviews early. Uh-oh. She's coming. You better hurry this along. You get to participate in the yard sales. APOS wants this stack back. I'm going to make you chicken. I'm going to go upstairs and make her chicken. She loves butter chicken, like Indian food butter chicken. Loves it. She doesn't like regular chicken. Like if you just had like sauteed chicken with a little bit of salt, she's like, what the fuck is this bland shit? Put some spices on it. She made me lose my train of thought. $10 chat. No, yard sales. Yard sales. They want this back, but other things that I've used and I'm done with are in the yard sales. I got a whole shelf filled with them. So if you want to participate in the yard sales from the 1st to the 10th, $5 tiers will get you that on either platform. $10 chat. She's everywhere. $10 chat is available on Patreon and Subscribe Star. It gets you into the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat that resets every 3 months. And then once you pay and you're in there for 3 months. And you can ask me any questions you want, and I'll answer any questions you want. I probably won't answer your questions on Patreon. For those patrons who are $5 and try to ask me questions, I'll try to get to you, but there's like 80 questions there again. And if you're just saying, hey man, I love your stuff, thanks, I probably won't see it. But if you're asking me detailed, like long form questions that are going to take, an hour to answer or go back and forth for, 15 times, just please consider joining the $10 tier, even for a day. Well, you would join for a month, because why would you waste that opportunity? And I will be able to answer your questions immediately on my phone. Because the patronage chat, they'll help you, I'll help you, I can help with my voice, I can take pictures. It's much easier to communicate with it there. Plus, it's a smaller group, so the questions are much less. Yeah. Headphones thing, wallpaper, cat. I think we'll see you all tomorrow. Right, Chewbacca? Who gets your belly rubs? Who gets your belly rubs and chicken? All right, I'm going to go feed my cat now. I have to go. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.